Welcome to Sports Connection. I'm Darrin Joins, Williamson County Schools Athletic Director. I'm here with my co-host today. I've noticed, Tate, that you have your captain's hat and sunglasses nearby. Is that for a particular reason, or is it just staging?
So always got to be ready. Never know. Never know when a boat race might break out.
Well, earlier you broke out the first ever track and field boat race, which was that was a nice touch.
A boat race is a boat race.
Well, it's kind of getting to be that weather too.
Yes. Woo! Can't wait. Love it.
Won't be long.
A little bit of a dip last week, but it seems like we're starting to trend back up. And it won't be long. We'll be rolling on our 40-foot Donzie.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what the show has in store today.
Me too.
Hey, let's talk, before we get into spring sports, Coach Barbara Campbell, the legend at Brentwood for Brentwood Volleyball. They're doing one of those drive-by parades where folks can come by, make signs, see Coach Campbell on May 15th. It's at 1 o'clock in the parking lot. They're calling it near the tailgate pavilion behind the school, so I'm assuming all the Brentwood fans know that location.
You do too. When you're walking in the back, the soccer field's right here, and that's that rear entrance. It's right there. It's the last thing right before you
This
get
is
there.
back where we illegally parked by the dumpsters.
Exactly. Yes. 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 Exactly. You have to walk by the tailgate pavilion to get in that back ticket gate.
I understand. Well, and I think it's pretty cool. Coach Cram, she's leaving the seat empty there for the bench. I feel like with Coach Campbell, and rightly so, she's going to be a person they will continue to always recognize and bring around. So this isn't the end of it for Coach Campbell. End of it as the head coach, but she'll be a presence there from now on.
No doubt about it. She'll be a presence. And, as her health continues to improve and we get to opening back up, I'm sure I'll be interested to see. She'll be at games, but I wonder how often. She wants this, I would think, I haven't talked to her about this, but I would think, this is Coach Cram's program now, but still, they want her back whenever she wants to be there. She's not going to be able to not watch games.
I'm assuming she'll let her get settled in before, she comes around a lot. That's what I would assume.
It's a pretty big presence. Hey, speaking of Brentwood volleyball, I watched on TV the semifinals of the NCAA volleyball, Texas versus Wisconsin. Did you happen to watch this?
Logan Eggleston's dominance.
She was the best player on the court. It's unbelievable.
No doubt. No doubt. Made it all the way to the championship. Congratulations to Logan. Unfortunately, lost to the University of Kentucky, their first volleyball championship.
Hey,
coming out of nowhere.
I'm not just saying this. Mitch Barnhart has to be in conversation for best athletic director in the country, not SEC.
No doubt.
Country.
No, I agree with that. He was like the committee chair for the NCAA basketball tournament this year. Ironically, Kentucky didn't make it, and Louisville got snubbed there at the end, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Think of all the great destinations across the country. And I know you love Lexington. I think it's a great town too. But obviously they're not just recruiting in the state of Kentucky. That means they're recruiting nationally if they're winning a volleyball national championship. And you've got them passing up Texas, the Florida schools, California schools, to come to Lexington. Man, whoever he hired, he's on fire, man.
Coach Skinner, the volleyball coach there. And not to take away from Logan, we were talking about Logan. Great showing by Logan.
Yes.
Such a talented volleyball player for sure. And boy, she's on the national stage.
No doubt about it. Well, she had the game-winning shot or point in the semifinal game, and was, seriously, the top 4 teams in the country. She was the best player on the court. And remember, she graduated from high school a year early.
That's what's crazy.
Pretty cool.
I think younger sis is going to do a pretty good job there at Alabama too.
Yes.
So, pretty exciting.
No doubt about it.
Keeping the news on Brentwood, some sad news in the district. Coach Greg Shirley, the boys basketball coach, resigns after 6 very successful years at the helm. 132 and 57 overall record. And I don't know if you saw this, Tate. 67 and 20
Yep.
in the district. A couple of state tournament trips. Great job by Coach Shirley. And listen, I know we talked about it some, but that had to be difficult to come in and replace a legend like Dennis King. And, you know, that's Coach Shirley's program the last 6 years. I think it's pretty obvious he put his stamp on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about 2 state tournament appearances in 6 years. Well, it took Coach King dang near 30 to get there the first time, you know, and that's not comparing. What I'm saying is, as you know, it's really tough to get to the state tournament. He went twice in 6 years. And, you know, I was going to ask you that. Obviously, he didn't take over a program that was broken by any means, but still, I'm trying to think of somebody coming in and that quickly going to 2 state tournaments in 6 years. That's strong. I hadn't seen anything like that in a while.
Yeah, that's difficult to do. You know, in that first year he took over, the talent was down, but they still finished second in the league. I don't think most people know that. I don't think they finished any worse than second during his 6 years. So great job by Coach Shirley. Certainly we wish him well. Do think he'll probably coach again. He kind of alluded to that in his statement in the paper.
Oh, yeah, I think he'll be back, and, you know, who knows, maybe he's just, I don't know. I hate to see it because he's always a class act, but he'll be back. He'll probably, you know, play a little matador with some job offers here and there, but I would think whenever he's ready to get back in, there won't be a shortage.
Good math teacher, too.
Opportunities.
Good math
great
teacher.
teacher, yeah.
So that
You like that matador, right?
I did like that.
Pretty strong.
Very strong.
El matador.
You've been on your game lately. That's nice. Hey, we're getting that time of year we start talking about all-state teams. On the basketball side, on the boys' side, Reed Kemp of Franklin, John Winley of Brentwood. On the girls' side, Amelia Osgood of Brentwood, and your favorite player, Zoe Pillar.
Miss Double-Double.
Of Nolensville. And then wrestling. Wow, the list is long when you're talking about all-state wrestling, Tate. Led by Fairview boys had 5 different wrestlers on the team. On the girls' side, 3 for Independence. I know you always talk about Independence was kind of the first to say, we're embracing girls wrestling, and it shows in this all-state. Riley Lent, Bailey Peterson, Brooklyn Long, also Erica Moore of Brentwood. On the boys' side, you had from Fairview, Riley Bennett, Jacob Clevenger, Malachi Bennett, Kendrick Curtis, Sam Frank, all from Fairview. From Nolensville, you had Nathan Montpool, Zach Center, Dakota Patty, and then from Independence, Russell Ford, Jackson Masters from Summit. Now, something that stood out to me, Tate, is Summit, you look at how they finished, top 3 in the duels, top 6 or 7 in the individuals, and with only 1 wrestler as all-state, to me, that shows the kind of job of that Coach Miller did and the depth of their team. Maybe not a ton of superstars, but a lot of depth there.
Good point. I think you're very right. And then also, they're young. And remember, they're a young team. So they plan on being back there at the state duels again next year. But I think everything you just said, and I'm sure, you know, they had some guys that could have been there if it wasn't for Cleveland, Bradley.
Wilson Central. Yeah.
But Summit plans on being back next year. I think they'll be there too. And congrats to Jackson Masters being the one, because he's had a great career there.
Bowling, this was exciting. All-state, a sophomore, Drew Whalen from Franklin, and again, something that stood out to me. The Franklin girls finished second at the state tournament, and they didn't have anyone. So again, that goes to the depth. I'm telling you now, Coach Logan, Ted Logan there at Franklin, he's building quite a little program there. He really is.
I know.
He's real serious about it. They work in the off season. He is a guy who's really tried to spearhead something going on in our middle schools, which we hope happens pretty soon. I'm telling you, they've got it going.
Won't be long. We got to find a way to knock off Hardin County. Do you, as the district athletic director, any in the foreseeable future, bowling being a credit that they can take during the school day?
I mean, kudos for them for pulling that off. Talking about it Hardin, right?
Yeah. They have it in PE. No joke.
It's pretty incredible. We got to get somebody investigating that. And they do the in the middle school or elementary schools where they take those trips and they're introducing them to the sport, which is smart.
Yep.
That's how you do it, to build it. But that's a sport where we're on the climb.
I'm glad they could be better than us in one sport. But we're coming.
Yeah, very quickly we are. Hey, let's talk a little baseball. Now, I have to give you credit now, Tate. When I was saying, I didn't say book it, but I did say, listen, it's Brentwood and Summit. Ravenwood's going to be third. And you said, not so fast, my friend. And you said it's Ravenwood. Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to be Ravenwood.
Looking pretty good, isn't it?
It is. Talk about the week that they've had.
Well, one, they're sitting here at 11-1 in the standings, and so we're starting to separate ourselves a little bit, but they got a sweep of Summit and Brentwood. Now, we've talked all year about it was really those three, I think, are the top. To get a sweep over both of them, if that didn't open some eyes, it dang sure should have.
Well, you know the thing that stood out to me, because I think we've talked all year, they've got the bats. But their pitching has been, well, maybe, they got several guys with 2 wins. I think they got one starter with 3 wins. But you take a look at that Summit series. They give up 10 runs in 2 games. In the Brentwood series, they give up a total of 2 runs. So if you add pitching to that already powerful hitting, man, they're going to be tough to beat.
Hey, and talk about a big spring. Season sweeps. Now, it's where you end up. But season sweeps in baseball and softball in the Battle of the Wood is pretty strong.
Very strong. That's like that's a nugget or a morsel. That's pretty good. You brought that one up, which I thought was great. Good job, Tate. Hey, Brentwood's sitting at 9-3, so they're 2 games behind Ravenwood. And listen, that race is probably over now, right?
Yeah.
Ravenwood's going to finish first. Summit, now 9-5. They were 9-1. They get swept by Ravenwood, and what surprised me, they turn around and then get swept by Dixon. Obviously, Dixon's playing some pretty good baseball. If you're talking about in the win column, Dixon with 7 wins is now ahead of Independence. Now, I think Independence will end up finishing 4th, but for now, Dixon at 7-7 is actually the 4th place team if you're talking about wins. So, got to give them credit; they're playing well.
Yeah, they are, and that was a big series sweep for them. They needed that one. Coach Kirby, I don't know. Coach Kirby wasn't real happy with the way they were playing last week, and then that happened. So he saw something he didn't like, but I can promise you this: he'll get it fixed.
I think so too. I think by the time the tournament's there, Summit's going to be in the mix.
That's right.
I did want to mention for the Ravenwood-Brentwood series, Andrew Dudas drove in 4 runs in Game 1 with 2 doubles. Multiple hits for Austin Johnson, Miles Denton, Stephen Bell. Lucas Koshin was the winning pitcher in Game 2. Nick Rahm, 2 RBIs. Ben Severance and Miles Denton with RBIs as well. Alex Sterling with the win. And then Blake Beavis, who is actually their leading hitter as well. He's the big-time closer for Ravenwood. Quite a weapon. They get to the 5th inning or so, Beavis is coming in the game.
Oh, yeah, and he had a monster week last week. Had a save in a win against Franklin. In the loss to Franklin, he hit the only home run. Went 4 for 4 against, I believe, Columbia, one of them. He's been on fire from the plate. You're right. And when they need a save, they're calling Wild. I don't think he's that. But they're calling Wild Thing out of the bullpen. If you don't know it, look it up.
Hey, let's talk about Franklin. They get the sweep over Independence.
Big.
Good series there for the Admirals. They were down in Game 1, 1-0 in the 7th. Then Alex Eisenbeck drives in the tying run. They go to the 8th inning. They get a walk-off win on a hit by Daniel Sherman, who drove in Carson Garner. Ty Allen with a home run for Independence. And again, that guy we keep talking about, A.J. Russell, doing a great job on the mound. When he pitches, he may be the best starting pitcher in the league. He goes 7 innings, has 11 strikeouts, gives up 1 run on 3 hits. So that's quite a weapon. I was talking to Coach Bourne about this on the coaches show last week. If you finish first, you're in business because you're going to the region. But what ends up happening, let's say you line up with Franklin. Franklin maybe has the best starter in the league. If you're the 2 or 3 seed and you face him, you could be a loss down, and you're going to be in trouble trying to come through that and get all the way to the final.
Going to be really hard. Yep, that's right. Very good point. He brought that up, or you did? You helped him.
I think
you led him to it.
Listen, don't go back and watch. Let's just say I did.
No, you led him to it. That's what a great host does. No, you're right. But again, I love that. I think the regular season has to count for something. So, you know,
It has to in that sport because of the pitching.
I think so.
Has to because of the pitching. Softball's different. They have pretty much the same pitcher every game.
No doubt.
Basketball's different. But in the sport of baseball, where pitching is such an issue, have to do it.
Have to do it.
Fairview, quietly getting the job done. I know we talk about them here, but big win over Cheatham County, 7-0. And actually, last week, they clinched the South Division, and they will host the tournament throughout. So great job in really what is the first year for our man, Coach Nico Gregali, who is on the all-name team, we decided.
He's the captain.
He is definitely the captain. Peyton Cuse, the winning pitcher there against Cheatham County. Hunter Davis with a couple RBIs. Morgan Jean, we keep mentioning him, 2 for 5. Brady Mangrum, 2 for 2. So great job by Fairview.
Yep, and I think they plan on this. This isn't where it ends. They plan on advancing pretty far in the postseason. But you're right, he's doing a great job there, and it's, you know, talk about it every week. It's fun. You know, success breeds success in athletics, I believe, and it's fun to see these other sports starting to see some of the success that football and basketball has had on the boys' side of Fairview.
Well, we mentioned, a week ago, the Fairview boys tennis team undefeated after a win over Independence. When could you have said that?
This year.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's they really do have it going. Couple of state titles there from Alyssa Andrea in cross country, sophomore. Yep. She's won 2. Maybe she'll win 3 and 4, but we know about wrestling. Football's a sport I think you've been talking about for a while, but basketball with those 4 consecutive district wins for Coach McCoy. Right. Great year for Coach McGowan and the girls team this year. So, yeah, don't sleep on Fairview.
Nope.
Don't
on
sleep
the
on
rise.
Hey, how about that week for Coach Hudson and Nolensville, Tate? Really playing some good baseball, including an out-of-league win over Ravenwood 3-2.
That was big. I can tell you this, Coach Hudson, we've talked about it. He's not a guy that worries about regular season records. Doesn't care. Well, he cares about regular season district records. He doesn't care about out of it. He schedules tough. He does it on purpose. He really, really likes this team. He thinks they got a chance to go far in the postseason. And like that right there, Columbia, not what they used to be, but still a AAA, very well-respected AAA program. And then, as we just talked, Ravenwood's getting ready to, you know, wrap this district regular season championship up, and they get a win over them. He likes this team. They're going to make some noise postseason.
Talk about the hitting of that team. Tyler Hummel hitting .413 for the year. Grayson Raines, .314. Ethan Seiling, .295. And this week's gem, Tate, on the mound, Ethan McIlvain, 4 straight one-hitters in district play.
You can win a few games like that, right?
Yes, at least 4 straight.
Yeah, and I mean he's really, really playing well. Powerful guy. I'm going to keep getting more powerful. Back to Tyler, .413. You're averaging .413 in high school baseball. That's strong, man.
Well, he's also on the mound, 2.36 ERA. So definitely a well-rounded. That's what I love about high school baseball. You got the guys who hit, they pitch. Now some people they have them specializing, but a lot of times you'll see they'll do both. They'll hit and maybe they'll pitch. Yep. So I always like to see that.
Yes.
Let's talk a little softball here. And you say this every week, the parity keeps showing up in softball.
Yeah.
Dixon County still leading the league with a 10-1 record. Summit in second with 9 wins. Then it starts getting pretty cloudy now. Brentwood with 7 wins, Ravenwood with 6, Franklin with 6, and then Independence last week with a couple of big wins. So this is one where when the tournament comes around, you can name 2, 3, 4 teams that you think, well, really maybe more like 5 or 6, who could make it all the way to the championship game. Probably 2 or 3 teams who could win the tournament. But it's going to be interesting to see who those top 2 teams are in the tournament.
No doubt about it. And Dixon County they've separated themselves, but I think they're in trouble come tournament time. And We've talked about Summit, right? And now they're all the way up to number 2 now. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But I'm telling you, are you ready?
Uh-oh.
Sounds like I'm on the Wilson Pike train.
Here
this
we
year.
go.
Anytime Avery, and I know you're going to get to it, anytime Avery Wismer is on the line, on the mound, chance you can get beat. So if Dixon County hits them, she's going to be on the mound. I'm telling you. Upset alert.
No, I agree.
Put it on the ticker.
No, I agree. She's becoming, and you're talking about her, they had that 5-2 win over Independence, 14 strikeouts.
14. And that's not the first time that's happened.
No, not at all. And of course, she gets an RBI. She's another one who she can hit as well. Again, talking about that parity, Independence gets a 7-6 win over Brentwood. In that game, Morgan Salmon, her 12th home run. By the way, she had back-to-back games where she was 4 for 4. But Brentwood earlier beat Summit 9-0. So you beat Summit, who's comfortably in second, 9-0, and then turn around at Independence, who only had like 3 wins coming into the game in the league, and they get a win. Parity, parity, parity in softball.
Parity, parity. Brentwood, what's that record up there in the standings say?
7-5.
Those are district games, correct?
District games.
She's averaging a home run a district game. It's pretty strong. They're not all in the district.
No, but still.
Some of them are.
Not bad. Hey, you were talking about Wismer. He had the 14 strikeouts against Indy. She had 17 strikeouts in the 2-1 win over Centennial. That was a one-hitter. Yeah. So just keeps getting it done.
Yeah, and you talk about that parity. It doesn't really show up in the standings, but that middle pack, I think any of them can beat them. And then that's the other thing. Centennial, the record doesn't really show it with 2-8, but it's not an easy win like it used to be. They're dog fights, 2-1. You know what I'm saying? That used to be, okay, well, we'll go out there, and it's not that way anymore.
And Centennial is hosting the tournament.
Ooh, home field advantage.
So I know they got the field looking good.
Maybe we can get a suite up in the Drury Inn. Would that be great?
That would be great. That would be great. It's a great idea. We'll start renting that thing out.
Yes. We could maybe even do like a live, I don't know, maybe not.
Housekeeping. That would be
Do not disturb.
Summit, 11-6 win over Page. Lily Kate Richards with the win. 3 for 4 at the plate. Abby O'Reilly, Alden Mathews, Morgan Woodside. Hey, I wanted to mention Nolensville, too. They've been playing really well. Here's one for you.
This is huge.
Nolensville beats Community 9-0. Rylan Smith, only a sophomore, a 20 strikeout perfect game. Now that means no hits, no runs, no errors,
nothing.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
A 20 strikeout perfect game. So I'm assuming it went 7 innings. She faced 21 batters, 20 of those strikeouts. Dang.
Yeah. Only a sophomore.
Nice job, Rylan. I mean, what a game. So Nolensville, another team that's really playing well, dominating their league right now.
Yeah, I think that one's
Turn out
already decided.
Turn out the light, the party's over.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk a little soccer here. I was excited to see this. And think about this number when you're talking soccer and how many games they really don't play per year. Coach Mike Purcell, gets win number 300 with the 2-1 win over Rossview. And the reason to me, that's kind of like football. If you take a look at soccer, even if you win the whole thing, it's like, 13 or 14 wins? That's a lot of wins in soccer.
Oh, he's been the head coach for 18 years. It's right under 17 wins a year. That's what's funny is he, if you ask him, he'll tell you it just means he's old. He's only been the head coach for 18 years, and so it's right under 17 wins a year. Got the number 300 against Rossview. Then they turned around and got a 2-0 win over Shelbyville on Saturday on Senior Day at home. They had to move that one to the turf, but still a special day. And so 301 for him. And man, he's a big part of that Brentwood athletic department. I've always said you go to a home football game and down in the corner, you'll see him down there. It's big, man. A lot of great players, I know he's really proud of his entire staff or former players that have come back. But then what was even more sweet was win number 299 earlier in the week. That was big.
Yeah, big 2-0 win at Franklin, and that one was for first place. The winner of that was going to be first place. Couple of goals, and it took like to the 48th minute. Aiden Moss, we talked about him all year, did a great job there for Franklin in goal. Reed McAdams scores the first goal. Aiden Parker the second. Logan Stegall with the shutout in that game for Brentwood. So Franklin's going to be there at the end. I think, we'll see now, they'll probably line up with Ravenwood in the semis. But Franklin's definitely trending to get all the way to the championship.
Oh, no doubt. And you mentioned that Logan with the shutout, you know, as we've talked about on this show, Franklin's fast pace, they're attacking, they're coming, a lot of shots on goal. They score a lot of goals. So one, huge shutout by him. He's become a phenomenal goalkeeper. But then, you know, they are going to be tough to beat. I think probably the top two teams. Don't know how it would line up. Would love to see a Brentwood-Franklin final like we saw Franklin-Ravenwood in girls. That would be really cool. But that was a big win for them, man. Brentwood trying to make it back to the state tournament for the third time in, we're going to say 3 years because we didn't have last year. Previous to in the semifinals. It'd be really neat in this year for him to get another one. But I don't know. As long as it's a Wilco one, we'll be good with that. I like our odds.
I love our odds. Hey, I don't know if you saw this. Ravenwood had a 1-0 win over Summit. Our man Eduardo Ferrari with the bicycle kick.
Strong.
Now, you know what this is, right?
Of course.
You know, it's up and you can't.
Yes. You ever tried it?
No.
Pele, man.
Yes, he did make that famous. Now, did you see it? If you haven't, look it up. It's,
No. I will.
If we were doing soccer plays of the week, Mr. Producer, no question, this would be the play of the week.
Hopefully, did it make Sports Center?
I don't know.
We need to find out.
I don't think so. I think we'd know about it.
We need to turn it in. No, that's
It was great.
the timing, and you know, it's one thing to do a bicycle kick when you're out on the field and just doing it by yourself, right? Kind of like trick shots, you know, and you never know how many times it took. Everything had to line up perfect. That's awesome. I will look it up.
And to a district win and 1-0. I mean,
The only goal?
No, it came in a big moment. Hey, let's talk a little track. I know we're getting short on time here. Siegel Invitational. We had 3 teams compete there. Franklin 5th, Nolensville 7th, Brentwood 10th. Again, I'm assuming Brentwood didn't send the full squad for that.
We got to find this out because if not, Nolensville and Franklin are really getting better.
You go look at the results, and Brentwood doesn't have results in some, so I think we can confidently.
Okay.
On the boys' side, Nolensville 2nd, Franklin 5th, Brentwood 9th. We did have some winners. 3,200, no surprise, Caitlin Vandercoat from Brentwood. 1,600, Peyton Strauss from Brentwood on the boys' side. Patrick James at Franklin continuing to do well in the high jump. The 4x800 Brentwood, 4x4 Nolensville. The 110 hurdles, I know you're a big hurdles guy.
Let's go.
Tiki Jones of Nolensville, the 3,200 Kevin Vandercoat. And then something I saw that was pretty impressive. In the 3,200, in that event, Brentwood, Kevin Vandercoat, Caitlin Vandercoat, Brody Chapman all had top 4 times for the year in the entire state. The rich keep getting richer.
You are not kidding,
I
man.
mean, that program's very strong.
Yes.
I did want to point out, too, Ravenwood, boys and girls competed in the Harpeth Hall Invitational. The Ravenwood boys finished 4th, the girls 5th. Jordan Rail wins the 800. Charlene Hung the 1,300 for Ravenwood. Hey, in tennis, gonna check it out this week. We've got the district tournament in tennis on the girls' side. Summit defeated Nolensville. So Nolensville's in with the other WCS in tennis. They defeat them 5-2. Brentwood defeats Page 5-0. That sets up a semifinal. Franklin, the number 2 seed versus Summit, number 3. Ravenwood, number 1 versus Brentwood. You don't see that much in the semis now. One of those teams going home on the girls' side. The boys' semifinals, Brentwood, number 2 versus Franklin, number 3. Ravenwood, number 1 versus Centennial, who defeated Page, the number 4 seed, 5-4 in the quarterfinals. So tennis is getting us started here in the postseason. The team tennis district will wrap up this week.
That was the Sports Connection version of tennis bracketology, man. That was strong.
I'm excited about going to, and that's at Centennial.
They got a lot happening this week over off Mallory Lane.
A lot going on at Centennial, but You know, tennis is one of those sports, we've got many, right? But tennis, definitely one of those sports we're strong. And right now, Ravenwood on the boys and girls side, no losses.
No, I think they're trying to go bell to bell, number one. I think they got a really good chance at it.
They're trying to get back in the Directors' Cup race. Not that they're out of it. Yeah. Brentwood football making it deep, cross country winning, obviously really helped Brentwood in the fall.
Yes, and obviously volleyball, but depending
How
on what
did I forget? 8 in a row.
well, it's just you just plug it in, right? Depending on what boys soccer does too, if they can see this thing through, it's over. Because girls track's winning the state championship.
Ravenwood baseball, though.
I know. Yes, right.
So
It's going to be fun. Hey, I know we're short on time. Centennial, they had a pretty big hire last week. Mr. Music City Miracle himself, Dr. Kevin Dyson.
yes, they did.
That's huge for athletics, man.
They definitely did. Congratulations, Dr. Dyson, who did a great job there at Grassland the past couple of years. But he's the new principal for next school year
Yep.
for Centennial High School. I know he's excited.
Yes, and you're right. He did a great job at Grassland. I know they were happy for him, but very sad to see him go.
No doubt.
What, are those hey, did you watch the Roddy Piper documentary last night?
No, but
are those
I knew
the bagpipes?
Hey, that's our sign, Tate. We got to get out of here. Thanks for joining me this week, Tate, as always.
Yes, sir. Can't wait to see you next week.
And thank you for joining us again this week for Sports Connection. We'll see you next time.